Hey, Slick. This is open to the public, so who knows who will pop in here. But these are the kind of guys, these day trader rock star guys. I'd love to get this going. They just have a live feed on their site, this live stream. You ever heard of them? So anyway, we're live on YouTube here, Thomas. So I don't know what you're seeing, but well, he decided to bail. Obviously, he didn't want to stick around in the live stream. Anyway, we're just watching Bitcoin price action here. Interesting little divergences developing on a very fast 7-period RSI. Actually, this is what we like to call a double divergence, where we actually have two lower highs. Here we can turn the day trader rockstar guys off. So you guys are more than welcome to pop in. I see people are tweeted. I just a moment ago tweeted out a message on this dump. I tweeted out a message saying, "What the heck just happened?" Hey, there's Thomas is back. Hey, Thomas.
How are you doing?
Good, good. So your nipples started tingling, eh?
Like right before that happened.
Well, if they actually did, that is pretty freaky.
I mean, it's not like a nipple tingle. It's more like shivers up the spine, you know?
Yeah, you just sort of felt something coming, eh?
Yeah, it just felt so funny, like seeing it go up like that. And for the last few days, I've just been watching this action, and I've had my fibs drawn, and I kind of expected it to hit that area. I was really hoping it hit 78.6, but it just came up short. And it's just really amazing how these fibs are so good at predicting where price is going. It's just probably the single most powerful tool I use.
Yeah, and in the videos for the site and stuff, I don't know whether you watched today's marathon, but I was sort of feeling like this is a rangy type market state. And so as a result, guys that can employ range strategies can do pretty good in this. But it ain't for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Well, finally we got some interesting action. I've been shopping the options market for almost the last week and just coming up short on everything. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, yeah, I don't see much. I really haven't, every time I go shopping in the, just like you said, every time I go looking at options, I'm just not seeing prices that are attractive.
It just goes to show that most of Main Street is just very afraid of a market crash, and they're buying their insurance policies through the derivatives market.
Yeah, and those premiums are pretty expensive, which probably means, unfortunately, that the market's not going to crap out.
Right. No, it's really interesting because for what, it's September, so we probably have to say since maybe April or May, people have been getting on their soapbox and freaking out about a market crash for a while now. And it's just the only thing that really came to fruition was the Brexit, and that just added fuel to the fire. But what have we done since then? It's just we rallied right off of those lows.
Yeah. Stock market, and the interesting thing is our breadth indicators are all starting to this here. I don't know whether you go to the dashboard. I don't know whether
I watch your daily video, so you make sure you highlight pretty well what's going on through there. And it's pretty interesting to see the embedding on the medium term starting to get more serious.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen that since last February, right? So what that kind of leads me to believe, even though price really hasn't broken on these indexes, the broader market actually is getting pretty cleaned up. And so, maybe the extent of this seasonal pullback is just down into these support levels. Or, I do think though that we're not dead yet. Like I just posted in the lounge, it turns out that we have a big U.S. government budget funding deadline coming up here at the end of next week. And I remember in August of, geez, it was a few years ago, we had one of these budget impasses and the US government shut down and the market broke into that event. And of course, if that happens, then that's just going to be fuel for Donald Trump, eh? If we get a big government shutdown, he's just going to love that.
So what date is this? The article doesn't really say.
Where is it? Bill to keep U.S. past Friday stalled in the Senate.
So Friday, it's this week.
Government is also running through December 9th. That funding bill, the consideration would keep the government running through December 9th. So I don't, yeah, you're right. I don't see actual specific.
The first sentence says that it's going to, Friday is the problem.
A bill to keep the federal government running past Friday stalled in the Senate on Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah, this could come to a head by the end of this week, eh? Never a dull moment. And you know, a guy like Trump right now, he's got till October to beat the drums, right? And so if this happens through this weekend, we don't have another debate. This presidential debate doesn't come up for another couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
So and if you look at last February's price action, hey Raf, how you doing there, Slick?
Oh.
If you look at, you know, in today's video, I sort of pointed that out. We bottomed on June 9th or June 10th, I think. And then we went down and we probed those lows into early February. And I get the feeling that that's what we might be doing this go round as well. So
a decent sized pullback in the equity market, and I don't get on board. I'm definitely going to be hunting longs because this is kind of the area that everyone's expecting a crash and they're expecting a big one. And I don't think we're going to get the big one. I think we're just going to get a nice little RLZ kind of thing.
Yeah, so our little breadth indicator here, and what was really interesting is like a week or so ago into that last panic bottom, look how embedded we got here, right? Just everything was just like they're just dumping the baby out with the bathwater. So they've cleaned that up, right? So now we're actually at the point where the market's actually starting to get a little bit overbought. Not quite there yet. But, you know, the thing that jumps out at me is and, you know, just past couple of days, you can see it starting to form, but we're getting pretty washed out on the medium term here.
Washed out in terms of oversold or just washing out the oversold condition?
Well, all this does is it just measures how many stocks are bullish and how many stocks are bearish. So you look at the S&Ps, right? A huge part of the market looks like this right now, where the fast moving average of the algo is substantially below the slow moving average of the algo. That's all that this is. It's just a graphical representation of that. So, and, you know, in my old 1980s website, and in the class, I used to suggest people follow the number of stocks that are making new 52-week highs, number of stocks that are making new 52-week lows. The bullish percentage index reading, that's off of this. Do you remember this chart matrix, Thomas? I don't know if you remember this or not. But basically, like, this is the number of stocks that are above the 50-period moving average, the number of stocks that are above the 200-period moving average. This, the bullish percentage index, is the number of stocks that are giving point and figure buy signals, the number of stocks giving point and figure sell signals. And really, our breadth indicator is exactly the same thing. It's just you can only stretch the rubber band so far. And when everything is bearish and everything is down, what that really implies is that everybody who is going to have sold has sold. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so ironically enough, when things look the absolute worst and everything is down and everything's negative, that's ironically when you should be starting to look for a bottom. And that is basically what happened last winter, you know, that January, February. It's, you know, if we're really lucky, hopefully I can get Sjord to track the histogram data, but going back into January, February, back on the histogram, and you can go back and look on the videos and site posts and stuff, you see that we had this medium-term condition that started to develop in January. Then we had to do one more probe, and then this second probe took everything on the short term also heavily overbought. So when I woke up on the morning right in here, the histograms were just all embedded, heavy, like, 80, 90, 100%, all down, and you knew that that was the market bottom. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, you only see it in hindsight, but basically the market worked its way higher for the next 6 months. So that's what I'll be watching for here. And then I also said in like today's video, usually what ends up happening is that this all sets itself up, and it's the indexes that break last. And then when they're down and the news media is reporting the Dow's down 1,000 points, that ironically enough is that final capitulation. And then Joe Sixpack calls up the banker and says, oh, sell my mutual funds, right? Blah, blah, blah. And that's usually the bottom. Right. So that's sort of what I'm seeing right now. We're getting, and a great lesson for you guys. And Thomas, you've been working with me for a couple of years now. Do you notice that can you feel that sort of buy when it snows, sell when it goes kind of analogy setting itself up here?
Of course. Especially if you watch CNN.
I only heard half of that. Big Brother cut you off.
Yeah. Especially when you're watching.
Yeah. So my hunch is that we'll, this ultimate washout where we get both embedded will probably happen sometime September, October, very normal seasonally. We set our floor and then we start the game all over again. Yeah, so when does it usually start to snow in Philly?
When does it start to snow in Philly? I think it's December-ish.
Really, that late, eh?
Yeah, lately.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of uncertainty into the election. Probably a lot of people are going to just cool their jets. And then, ironically enough, we may even see the market rally just on the other side of the event just because it's over. Finally, all this uncertainty's out of the way. So that's like November 9th, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised. And then Santa Claus rally. Well, politically, who knows what the hell's going to happen. It wouldn't surprise me if Hillary is elected that we go into this big sort of fucking love fest into January, into the inauguration, first woman and all that shit, right? I can't, and then ironically enough, she's going to be given the job. And the irony of it all, Thomas, I honestly believe this. The next person who wins this presidency, my hunch is about a year or two from now, they're going to really wish they had never won.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that one. Things look really messy right now.
Yeah. I mean, the Fed's basically setting itself up 3 steps in a stumble. They've delayed raising rates here all through the fall. I think that's totally political normal. They don't want to be seen as influencing the market, which means they're probably going to be wanting to play catch up next year. So 3 steps in a stumble. All that. And then of course, you remember what happened to Thatcher when she was first elected? All the old graybeards and stuff were like, oh, woman.
I don't remember. That was when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, maybe even younger than that.
You were trading when Thatcher was president? Come on. Prime Minister. Anyway, so there's an old saying, and they did it to Merkel too. There's an old saying that the market will test the new prime. You remember what happened to Obama, right? The first couple of years of his presidency, it was just a nightmare, right?
It was.
So I really wouldn't be surprised the first couple of years of this new president's term's going to be tough slog.
Yeah, sure. Setting up that way, and your long-term chart of the market is probably going to be spot on with that too.
Yeah, well, so I could see I could actually see like a euphoric blow off top into sort of January, which would probably actually launch all these histograms and all this into ridiculously overbought, and that sets in a top. So from a trading perspective, while I still have shorts working on the stock market, I could very easily see us start hunting longs heading into the end of the year for trades. And then, January, February, start hunting tops to go the other direction,
I'm starting to think that I need to change my state of mind from hunting shorts, because it's just impossible to be buying puts right now. They're just.
Yeah, that's something that bothers me. You mentioned that earlier. That's a really good point.
It's just horrible. I mean, for the last 6 months, everyone's been talking about this. The market's going to crash. It's overdue. It's overdue. It's coming. It's coming. I don't think it's coming. I think
too many people are looking for it. Yeah.
The market does the opposite of what everyone wants it to do.
Yeah.
It's certainly.
And you know what? I think in one of my recent videos, I also talked about like the stock market in the post-U.S. World War II timeframe. And if we go back and look at something like the Dow from that period, I don't know whether I talked about it maybe a month or so ago in one of my daily videos. I don't know whether you remember that, but I see a lot of similarities with that type of market, that Nifty 50s market, where people are just constantly thinking about, okay, when's the next crash? And I'm looking for the crash. I'm going to buy the crash, and it just never comes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's. See what happens if we pull this.
Interesting question while that's loading. How would you even buy calls in a market that doesn't have, like, where do you project new highs when you're trying to buy calls with your formula?
Well, the TRI is looking for 50% retracement plays, right?
So would we be drawing fib extensions for that?
No, that it would be like what I would do is I would be hunting through the reload zones and stuff like that for long opportunities. What we basically said is don't expect a crash.
Right.
But corrections are going to come a lot.
So if you pull up an S&P chart, if you pull up, if you want to be hunting a RLZ probably around the 2110 or maybe a little lower than that.
On the ES?
Yeah, or SPY, either one.
Yeah. Let's go ES. Okay. So we're not talking trading, right? We're talking sort of, grandma buy and hold kind of thing.
Or even buying calls.
Okay, all right. So do you remember last February when we were going all nutso on the long side? You remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was a great call that I wish I actually took.
Right? Yeah, remember we did all the math and we were looking at the calls and they were like $2.50. And by the time we got up here, they were like $12, $13.
Yeah, don't remind me.
All right. So it's these kind of dumps that you're going to be wanting to go into hunting mode. And, I don't know whether you necessarily play this market. I guess what I am seeing here is when the market can retrace at least 33%, but no more than 66%, what setup are we talking about?
A bot long.
Yeah. So I could very easily see this and, thinking about maybe blow off top. Bot setup, boosh. All right, so we did 33. Didn't do any more than 66. We do have one low to work with, two lows to work with. Let's see. My hunch is the 25%, the entry level is probably somewhere right in this area here on the long side, eh? Problem is that this is not TRI SOF kind of trading. This is pure momentum trading. Boosh. Whoa, look at that. So look how the market set up that level. So, and notice also too, that happens to be the market structure failure level. And look how the market came up here and then did our little inside bar failure right off of basically that level. The market is very interested in this 2153 level, eh? Can you see that?
Yeah. Hang on a sec.
Super important level for the stock market. And look where that projects us to. Wow. All right, so we have a few other people that have shown up. Hello, who we got here? We know Raf. How's it going, Raf? What time is it? It's must be in the evening for you.
Yeah, just 10:15 in the evening now.
How you doing, Chief? Hey, well, we're waiting for Thomas to go back, come back. Let's talk altcoins. I had a guy actually tell me about this one today. This looks like a really interesting coin. And sadly, of course, he was buying up here, so we're going to try and change that behavior for him. But look at that, eh? Holy crap.
Yep.
I have to go log scale just to even see this damn thing. There's the high way up there. So I'm going to try and sneak us in on a serious test. Look at that, the bottom. Isn't that interesting when you change it to log scale? Can you see how that bottom is so well defined down there? So that's an interesting place. I'm going to try and go pick some of this. And I see we have Patrick. Hello, Patrick. And we have Connor. Oh, I know Connor. Connor's you're from Connor. Oh, somebody just dropped. Hello, Patrick.
Yeah, the CPC is a bit heavy though. It's 200 million coins.
Well, I don't understand that because we were talking about this. I think it says that it's the total outstanding supply.
Yeah.
That, but oh crap! Now what have I done here? But the amount of coins that are out right now is kind of a funny number. I don't think it's. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I don't think it's as low as Coinigy points out there.
Yeah, their website says it's 20 millions in circulation. So it's not that bad.
But I don't know. I don't think it's there's 700,000. The guy that I was talking to today tried to explain it to me, but he said that there's like 20 to 30 million out.
Yeah, their website, you know, because it's Capricorn, yeah. So their website says it's 20 million now in circulation.
All right. I mean, it's an interesting number. It's all I know is the guy was telling me that, and so sad, right? I won't mention who it is, but he was just telling me that he was involved here. He was paper millionaire, and now he's poor again. Isn't that awful? And the one thing that we teach is, for God's sakes, when it's running up, pay yourself, right?
Yeah, just every double.
Right. So anyway, poor guy. Anyway, I heard, Patrick, you came off me. Oh, and then there was another one before I go on. Anybody's watching on YouTube. One of our site members and a really nice guy, Greg, he had pointed out this one yesterday. And it looks very interesting. This is a log scale. We could probably just change it to regular. And hopefully, you know, if you ever watch me on Coinigy or any of the YouTube videos or whatever, you'll know that if a coin gets down into sort of at or below this level, I'm very interested. And it's interesting, too, how this coin's trying to set up right off of the line in the sand here. So I'm doing a little bit of little old lady nibbling on this one. I like the number out, too. It's got 8.6 million out. It's a nice, friendly number. So a couple ideas for people to be chewing on. The altcoin market's kind of soft right now. Do you have any? Actually, there was this, and I think, Connor, you were talking about this. You almost got a fill on this guy today, eh? Look at that fucking chart. Holy shit. Connor, you want to come off mute and tell us a little bit about your EGC trade? No, he's shy? Okay. I think I bought some of this thing off of the lows down in here, and at about 3,000, I had a stink bid working. I got filled. So I've got an order working to sell at 6,100, which is right up in this area. Look how close I came to getting a fill here today. Anyway, what do you think? You think I got a shot at getting a double on this one?
Yeah.
Well, I feel pretty confident that we'll get a fill here over the next little while. Anyway, I'm being a dick now.
I missed my buy order, unfortunately.
Hmm?
I missed
You
my
did-
buy
yeah.
order.
Did you have an order working and it just didn't get filled?
Yeah, I did. It was on 3208, something like that. So
Oh, really? All right, Thomas, are you back now? Maybe yes, maybe no. Nope. All right. Well, what are you looking at in the market today? Look at this SFR. Gee whiz, he sure popped up hard today, eh? Anybody want to contribute something? Thomas, we were supposed to do a Barker show. That requires you to say something. What do you want to look at, Ralph?
well, I just want to let you know I just finally developed my altcoin scanner, fundamental one. You know.
Oh, cool.
So this AUR, it's actually a good coin, which you showed before.
Oh, so it meets the RAF seal of approval?
Yes.
Oh, fucking A, man.
You can check if I got
Look
my
at that.
order working here.
Sorry?
Yeah, I bought it like for 173 just a few days ago.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, there you go. So anybody out there in internet land, you're watching, you want something to chew on, you're getting RAF's seal of approval here on that bad boy.
Yeah, I've looked through many alts recently. It's really you can find out whatever is total crap or not, just checking a few things. I can show you what do I check actually.
Yeah, isn't Aurora coin the Icelandic coin?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I didn't even know that was still around, or still being developed.
they do. Yeah, the dev it's not that actually active at the moment. It's just the other bits. I've done it. If you can look, can you see the chat? I check it like that. So is it nice number, an idea about the coin? It's quite similar to Da Vinci's model that he does, but I done it a little bit different. You can see it in the chat.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and this EGC that Brian showed us also, it's quite high on my ranking. Really shame that I didn't catch this one. Oh, Brian left.
Yeah. Oh, looks like you got DC'd from everything. He's not in the chat either.
No.
Have you gone through his course, Ralph? Are you going through his course?
Yeah, I'm level 2 now, actually. So it's not that bad, it's like, are you in the course as well?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's like changes the whole perspective, when you it's the level 1 is quite hard, especially in the beginning. But
Yeah, just like the
we-
mental shift
but-
you have to do.
But if you put enough work, into it, it's just everything becomes much easier,
Right.
And you can always ask, and it's I would recommend it, to be honest with you. Just
Baby, what's up?
Yeah, I'm sure gonna try to get into the next course for this coming semester.
And just I don't wanna just say too many nice things, but Brian is a great teacher. So it's,
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and from my
So-
interactions with him as well, he's
it's during the course, it's like sometimes he tells things that you don't really agree on, and after some time it turns out that he was right, basically.
Yep. So Raf, for this little algo you have working, so it's just looking to see if like the GitHub page was updated recently and like if there's been big wallet movements.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
On the trade?
I just about the wallet. I just write then how many from the Bittrex. How many coins the biggest wallets have, and just trying to find out. Few days or a few weeks later if that's changing. This is how I. This whole scanning thing I've been doing like for the last, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or something like that, because I was struggling to find which one is good, which one is not. So now I just keep doing it. I've got like, I don't know, 20 coins actually, or maybe more, checked like that, and you can really, after just checking those stuff, you can really see if the coin is total crap or not,
Right.
But still, I'm sometimes struggling to find the right place to put the bid on.
Yeah, right. It's always like, which one's gonna pop first?
Yeah, or if it's already popped and you just you should either watch it and until it drops, or just set a stinky bid and wait. But sometimes when you get excited about the coin, you just want it just straight away, but you shouldn't.
Yep. Let the hype die down.
Yeah. What about are you at the moment?
What's that?
What about are you?
East Coast.